Buongiorno, benvenuti nella mia cucina.
Let's speak in English. Maybe it's better.
What do you mean? I studied this line for a week. Not that good. My English, my Italian is not.
Buongiorno, Edvina. Come stai? How are you?
I'm great. Let me introduce you. Let me introduce to you Raffaele, a passionate, talented sommelier with years of experience in Michelin restaurants, and he is here to teach us how to pair foods with wines. And today we will be pairing all kinds of crudos, which is something I think particular, and people have preconceived notions about it, but you'll clear up all the myths today.
I'm trying.
But before that, I'm gonna steal your bottle that you brought.
Okay.
And we will have to cheer. You're welcome here. I have this special Italian sparkling wine that we will sabrage and enjoy together.
Okay.
Yeah. Beware.
Okay.
Stay here.
Oh!
It worked.
Salute.
Salute.
Thank you. Okay.
Oh, that looks really good.
Grazie mille. By the way, it's a Chiaro di Luna. It's a Falanghina.
Falanghina.
It's a Falanghina 100% that we used to.
Careful.
We are exactly on the feet from Vesuvio, close to Pompeii. I think people knows Pompeii in the world, right?
Everyone knows Pompeii. I've been there actually.
Pompeii.
So what does it exactly mean that it's where Vesuvio is? Does it mean it has
strong minerality?
Mineral, right? Yeah.
Strong minerality, but clean, like clean drinking, not too heavy. Especially when we do a food pairing. I'm not gonna start with something like a Pinot Noir. This is comparable to like a Blanc de Blanc. Especially, I see you made a nice salmon today. So we have fat sensation.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
We have a
Well,
fat
I've never
sensation.
had it. So it really is so light and refreshing, and it's just very beautiful wine. So this you will pair the
To me, it's super emotional because when I open a bottle like this, it's to be home. Okay?
So you are home. Welcome.
I am.
Feel
Thank you.
like
I'm
home.
so glad to be here. A salmon, fat sensation, some bubbles, not too heavy, cleans you all your palate. That's very, very important. But there happens sometimes, especially when I do wine tasting in Sorrento, people maybe doesn't like that much bubbles, and I understand. I have always like a second option. Today the second option.
For this type of crudo, you would
this
offer
type of
this
crudo.
instead.
Second option today will be a Surani, a Fiano from Puglia. I mean, when I talk in a restaurant or when I talk with people,
Look
Puglia,
at this beautiful bottle.
yeah, nice. When I talk about Puglia, people think always about Primitivo di Manduria. But I found this Fiano. They start making wine in 2014. In Puglia, the temperature are always really super high. So we have a nice sweetness at the end because the grapes are really, really dry. This is, for me, like on a salmon. If you don't want to start with bubbles, on a salmon will be, for me, great. Then everybody have his options, but this is my option.
Let me try that as well. It's very interesting. I love your sommelier language. It's very beautiful, and it is very passionate. Even the way you express yourself in terms of grapes and sensations, it's really beautiful. It makes you want to learn more about wine.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm very excited that you're here, because we know a little bit of wine. We know particular, all the regular ones like Sauvignon Blanc, but there's so much more depth, right? And variations to wines that you could show us that we've never heard of, but actually it's something for us to explore and experience. And that makes me happy that you are teaching me and everyone else who is here with us.
The point is we cannot be all expert about wine.
No, absolutely not.
That's why it's nice to do a wine tasting. That's why it's nice to, it's not about teaching, it's about giving you information, okay? Because I'm not expecting everybody knows the wines from all over the world. Me either. I tried every day to change, to learn.
Oh, there's so much to learn.
There's so much to learn.
Same for me as a chef. It's endless learning possibilities. Exactly. And that's why I love my profession.
Look the color.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
It's very bright yellow.
Yeah.
I love how you're holding the glasses, all these things. You look super professional.
I mean, you cannot hold the
salute.
glass. You can hold. What is wrong? It's when people hold the glass from here.
Oh God! Don't hold the glass like that.
Like
It makes,
no.
yes.
Even because you have sometimes people using like perfume on the hands, and you're gonna mix the flavors of wine. So you hand it from here.
You know, looking at the color of this wine, I was thinking it's going to be really rich, but it's so
Refreshing.
light, refreshing, and yes, there is that tiny bit of sweetness in the end.
It's
That is
important
so
we don't cover
beautiful.
the salmon. Okay, we should be on the same level, because you are important like me. Absolutely. If I use something too heavy, I destroy your salmon. So I destroy your job, your work, whatever you do.
So the
that's not what I want.
importance in what Raffaele does is actually pairing properly your food with wine, because depending on the wine, you might destroy the flavor and take away and overpower the dish, and that's where he comes in and shares his knowledge. And by the way, how old were you when you tried your first glass of wine?
What, can we say that?
Because were you born with it?
I was born with a glass of wine. No. Actually, I started drinking. I was like maybe 18, 19. In Italy, we can drink from 18.
Yes. So you were legal, you're trying to say.
I was legal.
Okay, mom, dad, if you're watching this, he was legal.
Yeah, I was legal. And I was like always from a glass to another glass, always more curious. Like what I'm drinking here, what is that? And especially where I'm from, Sorrento, Positano, Amalfi, because we have, in each area we have different grapes, and there is so much things to know about story, and there's just passion, and I'm just curious, and then starts
to develop that interest and love
from
that.
Amalfi, from example like a really famous producer Giuseppe Apicella, Marisa Como. Then in Sorrento we have Cantine De Angelis. If we go to Vesuvio, we have Villa Dora. We have too many things to know. In Campania region, I'm telling you, we have more grapes than all the French.
Really?
There's so many things to know.
But people don't know about it, right? Because when I was to Italy, many parts of it, and to France, and when we drive by, it's so many wineries, and you see all these beautiful grapes are growing, and you could see how much love and passion people put into it, and it's really special. Yes, and also I wanted to ask you this question, because every time when I travel and I drink wine in Italy or France, I don't feel this drowsy feeling. I don't feel like I have a headache in the morning. It feels like I just had water. Actually, why is that? Why the wine here is different?
Actually, that's a good point. Thank you to tell me that, because most of people, when they come to my wine tasting, they always say, I don't want to drink too much red because next day I'm gonna have headaches. It's about how many chemical products they use.
Exactly. Is that sulfates? What makes
it doesn't exist a wine in the world without sulfites. It doesn't exist. Oh, that's really important. It's important they don't have to addict too many.
So there are other type of chemicals that they add for
we are going into
a
big war, because every wine seller have a different philosophy. Okay, that's a big thing. But I'm trying to use always like unique brand, not a huge producer.
Those are my favorite types. I always, with anything, with food, I like very local farms and wineries, whatever, that is very small, that is family produced, that always you could see that is more love. It's the same thing with commercial restaurants and a little restaurant that is chef owned, that everything is about the passion and quality.
I mean, I buy wines from a wine producer directly, so I'm really in touch with them. So I go to the wine cellar, I know what they're doing, I know how they work. That's why it's like falling in love, okay? Falling in love with the wine cellar. That's
it's very easy, I think. That skin contact. Do you really need a refined palate to become a sommelier? For someone who is watching us and maybe had a dream to become a sommelier, and maybe has this idea of, oh, I have to have a refined palate, or I have to have a particular knowledge. would you say you could train yourself, or you do have to have that particular
It is
palate?
about training. It is about
Really?
training.
So you don't have to.
It is about training, drinking almost every day. It's
So
a hard job.
it's
It's a hard life.
It's a hard
Don't be
life.
jealous. It's a
I'll
hard
try
life.
not to be.
I mean, I try to drink every day something, to taste every day something.
But how do you train? How do you explain to someone that there is a cinnamon there, or there is a cherry or a tobacco? How does someone really taste it? My daughter has incredible palate, and she could taste some insane things that always surprises me.
Okay.
But it's a rare thing naturally. But how can you train that?
Imagine I'm in a restaurants business since 15 years. And especially when I spent 5-6 years in Michelin star restaurants, I've been opening every day at least 20 bottles. So you drink every day maybe a Barolo, Brunello, or you drink a Taurasi. You start drinking from white.
Taurasi.
You bring me to my, most of Americans, they come in Italy, they know about Amarone, they know about Barolo, Brunello. They don't know that much about Taurasi.
Of course. It makes sense because it's something more unique and not so well known, so people don't exactly know those.
But that's why come to Sorrento.
We have you
come to Sorrento, and I teach you what is a Taurasi.
So actually, Raffaele has his company that is called RM Wine Tasting Sorrento.com, that where you could hire him to be your exclusive sommelier who could take you around, not just
and
to
make you
try.
drunk. And make you drunk.
Yeah, get you drunk and wasted in a very good way. But he can also show you how to pair the wines with food. This is where his expertise comes to life, and he's so much fun, and he's handsome, so you're just gonna have it in all in one.
It's very important. Who comes to Sorrento? Yes, I have a Michelin star restaurant school, but in the tasting, I try to be more basic as possible. I'm doing traditional combination. That's very important. I don't like to make too many too many. I'm not using any crazy recipe. No, I'm doing basic spaghetti with lacrima Christi, ragu with Taurasi.
But those foods are the best. When you go to Italy, you want to have that authentic simplicity on your plate. The really good pizza, the really good pasta that you can never have anywhere but in Italy. So, of course, when I travel to Italy, that's all I want to have. Depends on the region, of course. If I'm in Amalfi, I want some seafood, and depends on the season as well, right? But
Yes.
This is what you want. You want the simplicity on the plate, and those dishes are usually the most satisfying and the most delicious. And going back, I just want to show to you guys what we are going to be making today, actually. So we will share one recipe with you that is salmon crudo with miso yuzu sauce. And the other two we'll just throw in there for pairing. And we have the tuna, which is crusted in chilies. And also we have hamachi that will go with some passion fruit habanero sauce. And we will pair all those together with our wines. But we kind of started with our
Salute.
salute.
Not too many habanero.
You pronounce this
Chiar di luna.
Falanghina.
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 Your Italian is.
My Italian sucks.
Next time, it's better.
Well, you're gonna have to train me in that as well. So we kind of started with that.
Right.
So we will make the sauce for the salmon, okay, guys? So what we will need, I have a little bowl here, and I prepped the ingredients. So we will need some miso. This is white miso, Japanese white miso. I love Japan. It's another favorite country of mine that is really special. And we have yuzu juice that I brought from Japan as well. And we want to basically balance these flavors because miso is salty and yuzu is really, really sour. So we're gonna add a touch of honey, which is not gonna make this sweet. It's basically will help us to balance up the salt together with acidity. We're gonna taste it and just make sure we like this. You're just gonna, how you will know when it's the right flavor, just when you like it. You know, when you taste it and say, oh my God, this is so good. This is basically it for you. You know, you came to the right point of, so we also want this texture to be, you know, saucy, not too thick, kind of like this. And then we will add some olive oil to that as well. So crudos do not have to be complicated. It's about, again, simplicity, and you could go with flavors. I know that you prefer very clean crudos, plain. That's where Italy, but that's why I have you here, because I want to challenge you, okay? Because you're gonna have to try to, you know.
I mean, I like plain thing, but I'm open-minded.
Yeah, I like that, and that's why when you are, for example, at a sushi restaurant, and the idea is always to have sake with sushi. Is that correct? Or you could.
I mean, yeah, it's a traditional combination, maybe, but that's why I'm here.
Exactly. So that's why you're here, to help me out here. And
I mean, today we have
some.
Today we have a Falanghina from Chiar di Luna, and we have a Fiano Puglia, but. A lot of sommelier friends, absolutely, they can tell me we can use so many wines on a crudo, but this is my juice for today.
I mean,
that. Sake will be nice, a Riesling will be nice, but today I picked this one. But there are so many wines in the world.
I can't wait to try it together.
There are so many wines in the world that we have so many options. This is my idea for today.
Perfect. And
so, I can't wait to taste something.
Yeah, let's see how we do it here. So do you feel like, you know, what made you choose this profession, sommelier, as your calling? How did you come to that point? And, you know, because yeah, you had that, you know, kind of interest, but what made you actually to go to school to learn? You did go to school, correct? In Italy.
3 years.
3 years long.
I used to be a student with the ICE. ICE, it's Associazione Italiana Sommelier.
I want you to taste this.
Okay. Wow.
What does it mean? Good or bad?
Very good.
Okay.
I like it.
All right. This is our sauce for for the salmon, because again, like you said, it's a fatty fish.
Fatty fish.
So we want some acid, and we want touch of sugar that will actually go well. Now, when you explaining this to me, and I tried already the wine, it makes sense to me why you chose this.
I want to see your face when you
I do too. Make sure you pre-record my face there, so I can look at it and laugh.
I've been saying I've been for 3 years in a som school.
Yes.
It's just and I was like, I'm telling you, I was drinking wine, and I was always more curious, opening new bottles, knowing something more, and then I love when I surprise people on the table. You know, when I go to the table and I suggest them a wine, and I like to make people happy, especially when they don't know about wine, and I try to try this one, and they are surprised and they are happy. That's my happiness. Absolutely, yes, that's my happiness. It's just to teach it, because I'm not expecting everybody is a wine expert. I tell you already, and I love just to make people happy, especially in the restaurant when they ask me a wine pairing in the restaurant. That's my full happiness, because they really trust me. They trust me because we start from a starter to main course, and each course I'm going to compare a new wine, like a different wine.
Yeah, it's always very special when a professional like you comes in and helps you to really understand what you're having and how you're having it, and it makes so much sense when you don't kill, like you say, the flavor and overpower. It's super important. And I want to show you guys something here before we continue. So I have this beautiful sushi-grade salmon, and I have also sushi-grade tuna here. And I want to show you mistakes so that you don't make. So, for example, I ordered salmon, and this is how I received it. And of course, it's a nice, beautiful piece of meat. I mean, fish meat, right? But you cannot really make a beautiful slices of crudo because it's already made into steak, and it just ruins everything. It's not gonna work. And also, I ordered a wrong tuna. So this is a fatty tuna, which many of you enjoy. But I would say, and I asked Raffaele, he agrees with me that this is really good for sushi and the sashimi, but you don't do crudo because it's extremely fatty. So this is what you don't want. But this is good for sashimi, right? But you want this type of piece that it's easy for you to cut and you don't struggle with the right pieces. And I have this incredible market here in North Miami, which is called Catch Specialty Fish Market. You could just Google it, and Brett, the owner of the store, he's incredible. He always helps me out, and he could pick, the right. So they have a separate section for sashimi and separate section for like your regular fish. So this is a place for you. You always ask me where you get your fish, so I recommend to try the fish there.
You remind me of something.
Yeah.
In my wine tasting, on the first course, I'm using to pan-sear it like a sea bass. Mm-hmm. I'm doing individual wine tasting. I'm not doing big groups. So it's like a kind of luxury wine tasting.
Yes.
I go pick the fish every day fresh.
Yeah, of course.
So I go to the fish market and I just pick a piece of sea bass. I will never stock a fish. I mean, especially on... it's my business. I don't spare on anything, especially on the salt, on the pasta. I'm using pasta from Gragnano, which is the best pasta from the world.
The best pasta, wow.
Okay. So
I don't know if I've ever had it. I'm going to have to come and do the experience with you.
I can't wait
the
to see
real
it.
experience, and I really can't wait for that because I want to see you at your home, at your homeland, and just, to enjoy this experience with you. After I get to know you, I could see what a beautiful experience it would be.
Imagine I picked you up with my Fiat 500.
Oh, I love that. It's my favorite type of car.
Sometimes I go pick up some Americans in the hotel. Like most of the time, Americans are like huge, and the car is like small. And sometimes I have to put the cabrio, and the head is coming up. But it's okay.
I can't. This is hilarious. I need another knife here.
Okay.
All right. And for this dish, all we need is few things. It's very simple. Like I said, we made the sauce, we have the salmon, and I'm gonna cut the kiwi, which is an unusual combination, but trust me, it works very, very well with it. Again, it's a little sweet, a little acidic, and it has a beautiful texture, and kiwi is really, really good for you. It's one of the healthiest things you can have for your gut and for your vitamin C, immune system. So I'm gonna slice. I didn't have, so you could use yellow and green kiwi. I didn't find the yellow one this time, but it doesn't matter. It's just for the pretty plating, right? But the flavor is similar, although the yellow one is a little less acidic. It's sweeter. But I heard this thing about kiwi. Lots of people say, oh, I hate kiwi. I said, because you don't let the kiwi ripen enough, because they say, oh, it makes this in my mouth this weird feeling. It's because kiwi has to be ripe. Just make sure it's ripe enough. When you buy it hard from the store, just leave it on your counter and it's going to ripen on its own in a few days. It's very, very easy. So be open-minded, try new things. I'm going to plate this beautiful combination here. I just use a simple platter, and I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but we'll just go this way, and just very simple.
Can I go and eat this?
Yes, you absolutely can. This is for you.
Wow.
And we're gonna try our delicious wines with that. I can't wait. And
you tell me which one you prefer from the two.
Yeah, actually, it's going to be interesting for me to...
I always need feedbacks, okay?
Of course, so do I. I need that.
Look, I like simple things. That's
simple
it.
things, yeah.
But top products makes everything easier.
Yeah, when you have quality of
Yeah.
your products, you don't need to do much to
No,
the
you don't
dish
have to. You
anymore,
don't have to.
to nothing. So that's why the simplicity of Italian food. It's just I have this thing I love. I love flavor. I love a lot of flavor,
Imagine-
and it doesn't mean that it's to cover the quality or whatever. But it's just I just love that burst of flavor. I don't like boring food. So we have our beautiful platter here
Nice.
and our sauce. I'm just gonna pour over
Wow.
and we will try.
Che buono.
Che buono, which means looks good.
Che buono is how my ear Italian.
Okay.
It's okay.
It's
Che buono
terrible.
means so delicious.
So okay, so delicious.
Looks like delicious.
And
It
I have
is
some
delicious.
toasted sesame seeds, which I brought from Japan, and they have so much flavor. They are so, and it gives you a little more color here, and it just makes the plate look
Let's
very
make jealous
pretty.
of people.
Yep, here we
Hi.
go. So let's try. Let's try.
Okay.
Do you want fork or a chopstick?
You choose. You the chef.
I mean, you're Italian, you get the fork.
Well, that's hey. I'm going eating sushi all the time with my friends.
Okay, today I'm wearing my Italian look, so I'll go for the
Okay.
fork as well. So let's try it. We're gonna take.
Is there any order to do it?
We just take a bite.
You take the salmon
yeah,
together with
together. I don't know if that. I'll just do. Wow. Now, first I'm gonna go with Falanghina.
Brava.
Bravo! Finally, I got something right.
Yes.
I thought Italian
Wow.
was easy.
I don't stop eating now, you know, right?
Good. I like people who eat. And now. Wow.
For me, chiaro di luna. Chiaro di luna because salmon is fat and you have this passion fruit sensation that goes well to the.
Yeah.
This is a little bit. It's good, but
I agree, but they both go very well. But I see that, the bubble sensation
Yeah.
with fattiness of the salmon and this
Yeah.
salmon. This is actually makes a huge difference when you have a sushi grade salmon. The texture is just outstanding.
It is.
And it doesn't have like too fatty the content. It's more like balanced, smooth, and just
It's just amazing.
incredibly delicious.
I agree.
You proved this one?
Look, I'm honest. I used to, to work in Michelin star restaurants.
Yeah, exactly.
And everything, but this kind of salmon to me, it's just wow. I mean, the
Yes,
taste
I'm
is-
happy to hear that because Raffaele has a lots of experience in Michelin star restaurants and is there
But wait. I love my mom's ragu.
of
so,
course
So there is nothing better than my mom's
nobody
ragu.
makes
Okay.
better ragu
So
than the mom.
especially my mama, I miss her so much from America. I mean, she called me on Sunday. You're gonna come to eating ragu. There is nothing to compare to.
Exactly.
I love Michelin star food and whatever, but I'm really very very simple with basic things.
And I have a question. Is there a particular Michelin chef that is very special for you that maybe changed your vision in food and wine
I have
pairing?
a
You
pelle-
got
pelle-
goosebumps.
Pelle d'oca.
Pelle d'oca?
Silvio German.
Silvio
Silvio German. We did a new opening in St. Gallen, the 2000, if I'm not wrong, 2021, 22. Silvio, he was also the best chef from Switzerland 2023.
Well, he is Italian chef,
He's
but
he's first from Switzerland.
Switzerland.
From Switzerland.
Yeah, okay.
He was a sous chef for Andreas Caminada, which is a 3-star Michelin in Fürstenau, where I was working too. And then we did a new opening, and Silvio opened a Mammersberg. Mammersberg has a 2-star now. So
Okay.
this guy, he's like a super opening mind. He using cheese, or he using things from everywhere, like products from everywhere. What I really love from him.
From you mean like from all over the world?
From all over the world.
Okay.
I mean, what I really love from Silvio, he makes a really amazing gnocchi.
Gnocchi.
In America, you say gnocchi.
No, nobody says gnocchi in America. That is not true. I've never heard. No, we know how to say gnocchi, okay?
Gnocchi with
we know how to say gnocchi.
Butternuts.
But butternut squash. Gnocchi is one of the most difficult things to make because it has to be so fluffy, so airy, so just tender. I love gnocchi with hazelnuts and amaretto.
Okay.
Oh my God, I love that combination.
I love gnocchi sorrentini, basic of tomato sauce and mozzarella.
Yeah.
So if you come to Sorrento, I'm gonna make you also gnocchi.
Please.
Va bene? Va bene?
Va bene, va bene. So next one, we will pair the tuna with your wines and hamachi as well. So I have here tuna that was quickly seared and crusted in chilies, and which I think you hate me for that, right? Because you don't like spice.
I can figure out something. It's okay.
Because
it's okay.
Raffaele, as I told you before, in Italian classic style, you want everything very plain. It's about just the ingredient itself. But like I said before, I love flavor, and so I challenge him to do this with me because he has to kind of pair now the spicy, like it's on the spicier side, which he explained that spice can kill your palate for the wine, and it could be challenging. So let's see if we can make this work.
I'm just looking at you like, please.
Please. I'm gonna also add some chilies, don't worry.
No.
So I have here some beautiful pickled onions that come from Tiny Farm, of course. They are spring fresh, beautiful onions, and they're mildly pickled quickly in vinegar and some sugar. And I'm just putting it on the bottom of the plate because this is one of the best things on the plate. You're gonna actually have your bite of your tuna together, and then I'm gonna put each slice here. Look at this beautiful, gorgeous fish from the Catch Specialty Fish Market.
What a hard life. I told you,
yeah, very hard life. We are having a beautiful breakfast. I had no food, and this is perfect. For this, I have some ponzu sauce with ponzu, yeah. Wow. So it's a citrus. Again, there's some yuzu. My obsession with yuzu goes a long way here. So I'm gonna put some of that sauce on top, and there is some orange olive oil. You could. I love. You know, guys, I already told you many times I love Olive & Co. It's infused. It's not just flavored. It's really good quality. So we will pour this beautiful sauce on top and some microgreens.
I'm just doing things.
Yeah, yes, please. Yeah, I like. So we want to... Oh, I see what's happening here. All right, I'm gonna be nice to you. I'm not gonna put the chilies.
Thank you.
For you, but I'm gonna put some for myself. I will still have a bite.
Don't do that too much. Not too much.
Not too much.
Otherwise, you don't enjoy the wine.
All right, that's what I'm saying. I will do this without it and then with it. How about that? Is that good? we could. You know what? I could actually taste the difference.
Okay.
And maybe the mistake I am making by making everything spicy, because I love spicy food. So we have the tuna, the ponzu sauce here, and I also have this really beautiful. This is the yuzu frizzled skin that I brought from Japan, and it just goes well with all this combination. It gives you a little crunch and a little more of that citrus burst. So let's try. You have your fork here. Mm-hmm. I'm not
So
changing
I'm
it
just,
like
before we taste that,
Yeah.
do you remember we tried the Fiano from Puglia?
Yes, I remember.
So it was like a little bit more, it looks like a heavy color, but it is a refreshing wine,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
In this case, we moved to the Etna volcano in Sicily.
I love Etna and Etna Bianco wines. I love it because
So in this
it's just
case,
such beautiful.
in this case, we have a Caricante.
Caricante.
Caricante from Nostru, Cortese.
Okay.
Cortese family. We are really on the feet from the volcano area. Now you're gonna have a really more round sensation, like a more full body creamy wine. Okay.
I love his explanations. It's just once you try this wine, even if you don't want to drink, but you know what? Yeah, I'm convinced. I'm convinced.
Yeah. So try this one.
So
and then we go out of the
we did tour and we break the rules.
we
right?
break the
We
rules.
break the
Exactly. I was
So
like,
let's do that.
thank you.
Exactly
what we break the rules. Exactly
I have
the words.
Caricante here.
Caricante
creamy.
from Nostru. Exactly.
Creamy from Etna Bianco. So there are volcanic ashes as well.
Yeah, we have a strong minerality. Yeah. We are on 400. In Italy, 400 meters. I'm talking about meters, not feet.
I know meters.
So
I know
400
meters
from there.
Yeah.
But taste the tuna.
So we have tuna, tasted tuna with onion together, and then this wine. Very citrusy, and
Be honest.
yeah.
But let's break the rules now. So now you take another bite of tuna,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
I don't.
And then my surprise for today,
The red.
I don't tell you what it is. Just
Okay.
do it
Well,
first.
I won't know what it is. I'm not that educated about wine. I know a very little bit, but not enough to know the details. This looks light.
I don't know if they see from the camera what is it, but I don't care. I'm gonna cover now the
Yeah.
bottle.
For me, yeah. It smells amazing, and looks really light. So I'll take a bite and then drink
I
it.
want to
Right?
see your face.
Okay. Let's see my face.
Buono.
Buono. Actually, I like this more than
Do you
the
remember?
white.
Do you remember? I'm telling you, I'm falling in love with wine cellar. In this case, what I'm using is a Ceretto. Ceretto from Saint-Terroir. Saint-Terroir, like easy, elegant drinking.
It is very elegant.
It
I
is.
can tell you that.
You see, it's not that heavy.
No.
So, what means we don't cover the tuna. That's very, very important. Ceretto, we're talking about 3 generations now. They start making wine on the 1937 with no owned vineyards. So like, and then in the 60s, so who built up the cellar was Ricardo Ceretto in the 37. Then with the introducing of the 2 sons, Marcello and Bruno, on the 60s, they starting buy vineyards. Now they own 160 hectares.
Wow.
They are one of the best producer, above Barolo. Super elegant. They do
Very elegant wine.
They produce also Roero, they produce Barbaresco. We're talking about the 2019. It's already 6 years old. For Barolo, we can say it's still young. We can keep a Barolo. If you have a good wine cellar home, I don't know, if you have a good room to pick the wine, so to keep the wines, you can keep it for like 15, 20 years easy.
And the question about so is that right that the white wines and white wines have to be cold, red wines have to be room temperature? What is the real truth about how you keep your wines temperature-wise?
So the point is, when people, after the wine tasting, most of people buy always wines from me, but I'm always telling them, please don't leave your bottles where you cook or in the kitchen,
not in the
because you're gonna
hot
cook
place.
there. The temperature is gonna change there. Please try to keep the wines like this, so the cork touch the wine. The cork gonna be fat inside and doesn't go too much.
That's why they
inside.
have to lay the bottles.
If you leave it like this, the cork doesn't touch it, the wine. It will be dry and area goes inside.
So the
and
cork,
oxygen.
the cork has a meaning. It's not just to cover the bottle,
Of
right?
course.
No, but of course
Yeah,
for
I
you,
know
but
you don't
no
know
one
what-
knows this. No
Yeah.
one knows this. An average
It's
person
important you
doesn't-
lay down the bottle. So laying down the bottles means the wine touches the cork will be fat and doesn't cause too much area inside. Otherwise, if you leave it like this, the cork will be dry, the wine doesn't touch the cork and goes area inside and you oxidate the wine. And then you cannot call me, oh, my wine, it smells
Well,
like
that's not my
vinaigrette.
fault, Edvina.
it's
You didn't learn Italian. You didn't learn how to use the wines correctly. One more question. Can you tell our viewers maybe some basic points that they can, when they cook something at home, either it's duck or beef or fish, what are the things that they should look for in the wine when they pick their wine? Your knowledge is way too advanced for most of us, but when I'm making something at home, just give us basic points.
Just call me.
I like that.
Call me. Just look the hours. You know, now I'm in Miami.
Right
So,
now you're in Miami,
if you
but just
call-
for a little bit, you're going back.
I mean, we
to-
are like 6 hours.
Yeah.
6 hours. But just call me and I can.
All right, so you have your exclusive sommelier on call for all your wine recommendations.
Don't call me in the night. I mean, please, not in 2 a.m.
Okay.
or 3 a.m.
Okay,
please.
we'll try.
Okay.
But yeah, he'll provide you with some knowledge and information
I
how
try.
to, and you sure do. And the last but not least, we have our hamachi here that I sliced perfectly. And the sauce is the passion fruit habanero. Again, a little heat here, but hamachi is very creamy fish, and I want a little bit also acidity and a little bit of that, you know, burst of flavor. So we'll try it with Raffaele, and he'll let me know how this dish will be paired with his wines.
I know already.
Well, of course you do. That's what you do, and that's what I do, and that's why I like this collaboration going.
Wow.
It makes me happy that next time I have guests, I could pair my wines better with my food. And so we have this beautiful hamachi, and that's a beautiful color. I usually put some spicy serrano pepper.
Please not.
But all right, I'm just gonna put some black isot pepper, which is a little bit minerally, I would say.
it's
No,
enough.
don't worry, it's not. It's not. This is not spicy. This is more actually kind of ashy and interesting, and has a little bit more acidity rather than spice. So this is right now we're not doing too much. We're just making something flavor-wise to try to find the proper pairing. So let's try this dish now.
Edvina, I want to talk about this last wine that's for me, it's like super emotional.
Really,
Super
I like
emotional.
that wine makes him emotional.
I mean, when I open a
That's
wine,
very
for me,
beautiful.
there is a story in the back, absolutely. Especially with Gaius. Gaius, we're talking about Francesco di Somma. We are really, really good friends. I really feel in love with him because he let me.
Okay.
He let me feel like I'm part of the family.
Oh, that's
I met him 4 years ago. 4 years ago, and he invited me to the wine cellar. Actually, I met him in a wine tasting, and then he invited me in the wine cellar. He owns the wine cellar since 4 years, and he started to build up. He changed the levels, all these things. That's the only wine cellar we have in Sorrento.
really
Cantine De Angelis,
Patina de Angelis.
1930. They are exactly in the middle. They're doing wine tasting too, and then I use Gaius in a food pairing because I'm doing completely another thing. It's not a wine tasting. I do food pairing.
Which is more important than
There are two brothers, exactly. There are two brothers. Francesco is the owner, and then there is also Raffaele, his brother. He's the one works in the wine cellar, doing the wines. And they have also another winemaker, Angelo Valentino, which is one of the most famous one that we have in all Campania region. Gaius is a Lacrima Christi from Capretone and Falanghina. Capretone is one of the oldest white grape we have in all Campania region, which is a creamy wine. You say about creamy?
Yes.
A creamy
That's
wine
how
too.
you
This is something
pair.
that traditionally I'm using on spaghetti nerano. Spaghetti nerano based of zucchini, cacciota salata.
Yes.
Va bene?
Va
I
bene.
hope you're gonna come to Sorrento and
I will. I absolutely will. I
You know
can't
your
wait
friend.
to
You
have
know
an
your friend
experience with
Christine.
you.
She been to.
Yeah, I know my
she
friend
been to,
Christine. Yeah.
She been to Sorrento and I made her spaghetti nerano with like.
And she lost her mind, right?
She was crying to me.
She's still crying. She's still calling you and
Yeah.
making you to make her another pasta.
That's why
with-
to open
with
something
wine.
like this for me, it's like. I don't know. I cannot explain. Really,
It's so. I love that you said it's such an emotional
It's so
wine for you. I just love that. So, do I take a bite of the fish first?
Yes, and then you're gonna be in love with this wine. Be ready.
All right.
Va bene?
Va bene.
Can I say ciao to Francesco and Raffaele?
Of course. Ciao, Francesco and Raffaele. Can I tell them too? Thank you for making this.
Gaius.
Let me try it first.
Did you see the color?
You see the color.
Ah,
Beautiful color.
bellissimo, eh?
Bellissimo. Thank you for making this really beautiful wine. It's absolutely gorgeous. The color. It is creamy. It definitely is creamy.
We have
and
also some tropical fruits that comes to your passion fruit.
passion fruit. Oh, this is so cool. I love this this combination. So how important is your language skills? Actually, Raffaele speaks quite a few languages, and I am sure they come in handy when you have your travelers from all over the world, and the advantage of you and what you do, that you can speak their language fluently if the people, don't speak English. So how important is that?
I mean, I think it's the most important thing. I always say to my friends, to my client, I'm a good sommelier. I'm not the best sommelier in the world. I have always something to learn. But communication is the first thing. 2025, you need English. You need English, you need languages. I'm lucky because I like long languages. So I try to speak good English. I'm good.
You're very good. I love you speak perfect English. Yeah.
Parlo italiano.
Parlo italiano.
And then
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Ich kann auch
Sprechen Sie
sehr
Deutsch?
gut Deutsch reden. Wir können auch ein Weintasting in Deutsch machen. Das
responded
ist
my question.
überhaupt kein Problem. Yeah, I'm a lucky guy to know these languages. So communication. How I explain your wine if I don't know languages.
Yeah, it's much more difficult to go to the depths without knowledge of the
Exactly.
language.
That's
Yeah.
a big point. I always suggest people that starting to be
So-
a sommelier, languages.
Is the wine that is emotional to you, is that the one that is your favorite wine, or? No.
Of
No,
course,
I caught him here.
aspetta. When I open Gaius, when I open Chiaro di Luna, of course, it let me feel home.
Yes.
But depends what I eat. That's a question that.
Is it because depends what's your favorite dish also?
Depends
you
what
have
I
that?
eat. Depends what I
Depends
eat.
you eat. Yes.
It's my life. It's a lifestyle. Okay, it's a lifestyle. It's
I like your lifestyle. It's a good one.
Don't be jealous. That's a question they do me at the beginning when I start being sommelier. Which is your favorite wine? I was like, I don't have a favorite wine.
It's the same thing when they ask me, what's your favorite thing to cook? I hate that question. Don't ask me that
No.
question. It always depends on the ingredient. I am ingredient-driven chef, that when I find a beautiful special ingredient, the flavor combination comes first up in my brain. I create it, and then I want to make it and produce it on the plate. But I don't have a favorite dish, because that dish that I'm making today is my favorite, and tomorrow is something else. It's too boring to have one favorite dish and focus on that. So
Are you making me
that's
a-
the reason I ask you, because I want to see if we connect here.
Okay, but one day you're gonna make me a ragu.
I will make you.
You know what I bring from Italy?
What?
See? Caciocavallo!
Caciocavallo.
Caciocavallo.
Oh, you're sick
So
of my
let's make a
Crudos?
real combination now, please. I love your sushi, whatever.
Whatever, but let's
I
go
mean,
full
my
Italian.
Italian friends are gonna be proud of me now.
Oh,
Please,
yes.
you're the chef, but now I do.
Cut it here on this
Where?
side. On this side,
You're the
because
boss.
I don't want any of the spices on the fish, on the cheese. Caciocavallo.
Caciocavallo.
Beautiful. All right, enough with all the crudos and sushi style fish.
You cut it for me? You're the chef, okay? I don't want to show you.
I've never actually, I've never
Just-
seen this before.
No?
No. So I could cut it this way?
Yeah. Just make a slice and drink some gallos on the caciocavallo.
Okay.
But
that
please
sounds
don't. But please don't cry.
I can't promise that. I'm also very emotional, you know? I'm an artist. So,
But maybe I'm gonna cry because
the way
I
I'm
miss
cutting this
Italy.
cheese.
I love Miami. I like Miami.
No, but
It is
come
a different.
on,
We
you
have a
can't
different.
compare to Italy.
It is what it is.
Miami is nice, but if you ask me, of course I choose Italy here. It's not even a question.
Mamma mia.
I love that. Mamma mia. So we drinking which one? I messed up all
Gallos, the last one. This one. It's not
Joseph, thank you for this.
Giuseppe.
Giuseppe.
Madonna,
He corrected
Joseph.
me. Giuseppe.
Giuseppe.
Giuseppe, thank you for this cheese.
Grazie mille.
Mm.
It's good. Imagine,
good.
imagine how
So
hard
good.
is how hard it is to be fit in Italy. Like fit, we're eating everyday pasta, everyday
And,
wine.
I mean,
food.
you look good.
I try to be.
Yeah. What can I say? Book RM wine tasting Sorrento.com.
I can't wait to see you guys.
If you wanna have this special experience, I enjoy this so much with you. Thank you for
Grazie.
all your expertise, for all your beautiful emotional connection to the wine, and showing us how adventurous and how much fun it is to do this. And I just enjoy it so much, and I can't wait to visit you in Sorrento and do this in all the proper way. And your Fiat
500.
500.
Thank you, Edvina.
Cheers, salute, and thank you
Grazie
so
mille.
much for watching. And we'll see you again next Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern on my YouTube channel, Edvina Cooks. And I will have all the information for Raffaele's website for you as well in the comment section. Just look it up or just text me, ask me, and we are here. Salute, and
Salute.
see you all soon.
Grazie, Edvina.
Ciao,
Ciao,
arrivederci.
arrivederci.
So good. I love this cheese. Grazie mille.
Wow. I'm trying to be more like Easiest.
That's great. You guys are great.
You like it?
What was happening?